going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here, Cheesehead TV. Post-game after the Packers drop a very tough, demoralizing game to the Atlanta Falcons, 25-24, down in Atlanta to drop their season record to 1-1. Obviously, you guys know, you watched the game and you knew the narratives heading into this as far as the Packers being down quite a bit of talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball due to injury, whether it's Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. David Bakhtiari did not play. And then they lost Elton Jenkins during the game. A lot going on the offensive side of the ball. And up front, right off the bat, I want to say I was very impressed with the job that Matt LaFleur did for the first 3 quarters of this game. To have the team in the position that they were in was a real testament to his coaching ability. And then you get to the fourth quarter, and it really all fell apart. And that is everybody. That is special teams. That is offense. That is defense. And I've seen a whole lot of folks trying to pin the game, the blame game, try to say it is this or it is that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that was a classic team-wide implosion. That was a definition of a team loss. The lack of complementary football, somewhat in the second half, but particularly in the fourth quarter, was alarming. You can talk about Joe Barry, and I'm sure we will, and his complete inability to either adjust to what the Falcons were clearly trying to do on the ground there at the end of the game, or you can talk about Matt LaFleur's offense taking all of 40 seconds off the clock after the Falcons had driven down for a score to make it a 1-score game in the second half. Shades of London last year where, the Packers watched the Giants march down the field and then went 3 and out on 3 deep passes from Aaron Rodgers. Not quite the same script this time, but still the same general vibe. And I know we're going to see a lot of throughout this week, and I've already seen some of it online. It's a young team, young quarterback, and a young team that needs to learn how to close games out. And that is true. That is no doubt the 100% the case. There are a lot of youth on this team. However, the gentlemen in charge are not young. Whether that's Matt LaFleur, whether that's Rich Bisaccia, whether that is Joe Barry, are ardent veterans of the National Football League. And I don't feel like they put their guys in great positions there down the stretch of this game. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to dive into all your chats. Just know that this is a frustrating loss, a game that the Packers should have won 100%. And it would have been the first time the Packers had ever started 2-0 on the road in the history, the 100-plus year history of the Green Bay Packers. So this suggests what a historically difficult task Matt LaFleur was up against. But I know he's probably going to be kicking himself at times throughout the evening and throughout the week, knowing how close he came to accomplishing that goal, because it was right there. That game was there for the taking. And the fact that they couldn't stop a team on offense in the second half in particular, who basically had a quarterback who can't throw. I mean, he's an athlete. There's no doubt about it. He made some plays, no doubt about that. But, man, this team needed to be a lot better on defense down the stretch. And it certainly looked like more of the same. After all the fun of last week and beating up on the Bears, which is always a good time, the Falcons basically ran it down the Packers' throat, and there was nothing they could do about it. And Joe Barry certainly didn't seem to want to do anything about it. And I think I kind of caught Matt's frustration in that regard in his post-game presser when he was asked, I believe it was the very last question of his press conference, asked about the run defense and the ability of the Falcons to move the ball on the ground. And he was pretty short and to the point, said, you guys saw it. They shredded us consistently. And that was it. That was the answer. I got to think Matt's a little frustrated with what he saw kind of transpire there on the defensive side of the ball. Not to dismiss any of the shortcomings or failings on offense that fall at his feet. But, I'd like to say, I don't know what he expects. He had all offseason to make a move at coordinator. We saw the same shit throughout the entirety of that game. That early in the game, they had a 3rd and 15. A 3rd and 15 is a down and distance, which should favor the defense. However, in Green Bay, it rarely does. Allowing a completion for 20 yards on 3rd and 15. It's the Joe Barry way, as we play 12 yards off the line of scrimmage and allow free releases and offensive players to wander with abandon through your defensive secondary. Yeah, no, sounds great to me. Keep it up, guys. Obviously, you can flip it around and look at the plays where he did have guys in position to make plays, whether it is Quay Walker dropping what would have been his second interception or the killer, Jair Alexander, dropping what should have 100% been a house call. That should have been a pick six. Now, you get those guys in those positions, yes, as a defensive coordinator, no doubt. That's got to be frustrating. But when the entirety of our chat and probably everybody sitting watching either at home or even in the stadium can look at the Packers defense and go, oh, look, they're playing 2 down defensive linemen. We'll just run it up the middle. And then when you counter with 3 defensive linemen and they just run to the outside, and it takes 3 offensive drives by the Falcons for you to make any kind of adjustment, yeah, it's a little frustrating. And you're probably going to lose a lot of football games that way. It's just something I'm into. Just how I see it. Tyler's starting us off with a super chat. What's up, man? Jaden Reed is a player. Cannot wait to see what the offense looks like when Watson returns. Don't know how you can't be anything other than excited. By watching the defense? I'm kidding. Yes, no. Jaden Reed, 100% a player. 0 question there. And you're right. Get Watson back. More importantly, get Aaron Jones back. Absolutely cook him on offense. Godsmack, thanks to Super Chat, man. Run defense looked like business as usual. At least the depth players look good. Funny, every NFC North team lost this week. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go dive into a spiced rum. Go, Pack, go. That's a good call, man. Soder, how you doing, man? Thanks to Super Chat. They knew they had to defend the run and went with a plan that appears to have centered around not letting Ritter beat them with his arm. Confused. Soder, why are you confused? That's just the Joe Barry way. I mean, I don't know. I said all offseason, I needed to see it in a game that mattered. Last week mattered. No question about it. And they beat up on the Bears, but good. But it became very apparent pretty early on the Falcons could move them up front. And once that happened, Barry did absolutely nothing to adjust to it. It was the Philadelphia game last year all over again. Nope. Why make any material changes when I can just trot out the same shit down after down? Sounds great to me. RJS, thanks for Super Chat. Chargers 0-2. If Brandon Staley were available, ... Man, any moves that were going to get made were going to be made this offseason. Matt's going to stick with Joe. You guys know this. For all his frustrations post-game, you know he's going to stick with Joe. Come on. He's not making, especially after a couple of games. Oh, man. Nationals just took the lead on the Brewers. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't expect any humongous moves anytime soon. Joe, thanks for the Super Chat. Well, we knew there would be games like this. Bottom line, Packers did not play complimentary football in the fourth quarter. 1 billion% correct. You need to be able to take more than 40 seconds off the clock on offense. You need to be able to get off the field on third down on defense. Or hell, limit them to, less than 5, 6, 7 yards of carry on first down. That's the other problem. The Falcons were just living in second and third and short, which obviously plays to their strengths. Just tough life all around. Vex, thanks for Super Chat, man. Another season of defensive ineptitude. I'm tired. Vex, I'd love to say, hey, it's 2 weeks in. They had a good performance last week. This week, pretty tough. But we'll watch and see if they make any kind of adjust. Man, I'm with you. Yeah, probably. Probably another season of watching this defense get run over by physical teams and do precious little about it. I don't know what to expect other than that. I'm with you. Anton, what's up, man? Thanks for the Super Chat. Matt LaFleur has always struggled with leads and gotta have it situations, not new or because we're young. Yes and no. I think I get what you're saying there. I do think it's hard to put, the idea that A.J. Dillon is diving on the ground for whatever reason, or Jordan Love is trying to run a quarterback sneak by himself on Matt LaFleur's plate. Yes. Do the 3 and outs, the drives that take no time, and some of the issues in the fourth quarter fall on Matt's lap. Yeah, no doubt about it. 100%. I mean, honestly, it all does, right? He's the head coach. It's his responsibility. But, they are young. You can't dismiss that. And you can't dismiss the fact that they went into on the road playing Rasheed Walker at left tackle, who had never started an NFL game in a loud-ass environment with a fast track. I mean, these are things that you're all dealing with. No Aaron Jones, no Christian Watson. I mean, this adds up. So the fact that they're, 1-point losers on the road in week 2, man, I don't know. Long way to go there. Vex, what's up, man? Thanks for super chat. What the was that first quarter delay of game? I don't know, man. Corey was all over that. What's frustrating is take the timeout. I mean, we've talked so many times about unnecessary timeouts. That was a necessary timeout. Take the timeout and try the field goal. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was bizarre. Tonezilla, what's up? Thanks for super chat. Jonathan Taylor trade incoming. Is running back a concern? I mean, I don't know about how much of a concern it is other than you got to get Aaron Jones healthy, but trade incoming, not anytime soon. He's on PUP, so he can't do anything for another 2 weeks. But AJ continues to lose his footing, come up short, etc. I think those talks may get rekindled. Jack, thanks for the super chat, man. I like AJ. He's a great dude, but man, he goes down way too easily for someone that strong. Also, as a Texas fan, I knew Beyond would kill us. Yeah, he's really good. What do you average? 6.5 yards per carry, 124 yards on the ground. That's tough. And he threw in 4 receptions for 48 yards. That's a player. That's productivity. That's making sure that, no matter how well you got him bottled up by safeties or corners, he's going to make a move in the open field and get 5, 6, 7 more yards. And the other frustrating thing, he and what's his name? Algier, they both do a great job of getting yards after contact, no matter how many dudes are hitting them. I mean, the fact that you could hit them at the line of scrimmage and they're still falling forward for 3, 4 yards, that's a tough way to live if you're on defense. No question about it. Wish AJ was more like that. Young Faded, thanks for the super chat. Was Jair off today? Felt like a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know. Only Jair can speak on it. I'm sure they'll get some quotes out of the locker room, hopefully, if he talks. But, yeah, he felt a little off. And, again, can you blame the guy when he's playing consistently deep in coverage, down in and down out? And I know there's been talk about adjusting his pre-snap alignment and all that stuff, but I certainly saw a boatload of calls where, the call is clearly that cover 2 soft shell. And Jair's playing the defense. I don't know, man. It's tough. Portmaster, thanks again, buddy. I know these guys forgot more about football than I'd ever know, but load the damn box and make the kid beat us. It's not rocket science. Apparently, Portmaster, it is rocket science because the thought has clearly never occurred to Joe Barry. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, the kid, Ritter, yes, he's an athlete, but God, he can't throw. Yeah, load the box. And I get it. What they will say, then they will adjust. No shit. You mean they'll have to do something else to try to beat you other than the thing that they are consistently doing down after down after down that you refuse to try and stop? I'm shocked. You guys are going to get me going. Jacob, thanks for the super chat. Moving forward, if Jones goes down, let Wilson or Taylor try that role and keep A.J. Dillon in his role. Not a knock and not the reason we lost. Yeah, no, A.J.'s not the reason they lost, but he's part of the team, and the team completely imploded, including A.J. I mean, come on. How many times does he get hit at or near the line of scrimmage and end up going down without much of a physical outside presence making him do so? He's just got to find his equilibrium more than anything. He's got to find his balance. I don't understand how he's always kind of falling forward, stumbling forward, losing his balance. Put your foot in the ground and get upfield, man, and use that big-ass frame of yours to run dudes over. That's the frustrating part. Vex, thanks for Super Chat. Time for Matt LaFleur to start being held accountable. Bad DC, no timeout, ignores his best players. Oh, this is great. Who are his best players today? Who did he ignore? He got Reed 2 touchdowns. Wicks had a TD. Are those his best players? So he's ignoring. Who's he ignoring? A.J. Dillon? I mean, A.J. Dillon got 15 carries. Ooh, I'm looking here. Dobbs had 3 targets. Was he calling more plays for Dobbs? Is that it? I mean, he didn't have a ton to work with, my guy. I hear the frustrations, but let's dial it back just a little bit. Held to account. Bryson, thanks for the super chat. It's hard to kill Joe when the offense only spotted them 40 seconds. Joe is to blame, but the line couldn't get a push, and AJ can't walk without falling. Well, you switched streams on there, Bryson. You went from defense to offense on me. Yeah, well, look, no question about it. The lack of complimentary football in the fourth quarter was a absolute killer, and it more than anything else, that is the reason they lost this game. Now, that said, the 40-second thing, yes, it happened once. But, that's outside of that, you should still be able to make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball, even if you've only had a limited time with, your offense on the field. I mean, we're not splitting the atom here. Devin, thanks for the super chat. Time to fade Dylan. Is this a fantasy football thing? I don't know. Nick, thanks for the super chat, man. Has anyone ever asked Barry what he has against being more aggressive? Oh, several different ways people have, and he always just kind of pontificates for about an hour at the podium, and then we all go home. Riley, thanks for the super chat. To me, I realized the Packers were going to lose when Devondre lined up wide against Bijan Robinson. How do you let that happen? Because it's man coverage. Wait a second. Whoa. You can't all sit there and cry about wanting man coverage. I'm not saying you did, but you get the call in the huddle. They're in their huddle. They break their huddle. And if your defensive call in the huddle is, okay, we're playing X, some version of man, probably too high. I think that's what it was in that case. Well, Devondre's man is the running back. So when the running back goes and splits out, he's got to go out there and cover him. That's just a call. That's just, you got to execute. You've got the back, and yes, Campbell lined up well off because he's scared of Robinson's speed, which I understand. And that's why they ran that slant. And that's why it was successful. But sometimes, they play the call and the other team has a good play, and that just transpires, So that, of all the plays today, that one is hardly that problematic. Tyler, thanks for the super chat. Was I wrong in thinking Newman held up well? No, Tyler. I was shocked. I think I wrote about that in Gut Reactions. I was pleasantly surprised with how well he held up. Now, it wasn't perfect, and I certainly saw pressure kind of leak through once or twice. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the disaster we have seen from Newman at times in the past. It certainly seemed like he got better this summer because early in camp, it was troubling watching him play. But I thought, especially that third preseason game, I thought he played much better, and he certainly acquitted himself pretty darn well today at first blush. We'll see what the tape says. Don Vito, thanks for the super chat, man. As annoying as Barry is, it still feels like the offense could have done more to sustain drives. You think? Time of possession, 36-45 to 23-15 for Green Bay. Brutal. You're not lying, dude. Nick, thanks for the super chat. Anyone ever asked Joe Barry why he refuses to be aggressive? I think I got that one. Chris, thanks for the super chat. We're not going to win them all. Kind of done with AJ. Go Pack, go. Let's get healthy and beat the Saints. I believe we were the better team today, but all good. Yeah, there are no moral victories, that's for sure, but that's a game they should have won. No doubt about it. Soder, thanks again, man. Corey is correct. The organization can't self-evaluate. The analytics would tell you that the scheme can't stop the run and Dylan can't go wide. Yeah, I think some of it is trying to go against what the team, the defense is expecting from you, etc. But I agree. It is frustrating. Portmaster, thanks to the super chat. DB's played not up to par, but I'd still bet on them against the pass rather than these light boxes against the run in the year of our Lord 2023. Help me. That's the frustrating part. Rather than committing numbers or even just calling a run blitz every once in a while, or maybe committing a safety or whatever. Yeah, we're just playing that light box and playing way off in the secondary and basically allowing them free run through the defense, however, which way they want to go. Josh, thanks for the super chat, man. Joe Barry saw the Colorado State defense last night, said, hold my beer. Yeah, I referenced that on the 3rd and 15 completion that they got early in the game. It's like, he got on the headset and went, you know that defense that Colorado State was playing last night that allowed Colorado to go 98 yards for a touchdown? Play that here. That's the call. Frustrating, man. Overshadow, thanks to Super Chat. Let's be real. AJ ain't been the same since ending his Carry the G show with Cheesehead TV. Also, Joe Barry is what he's always been. No surprises here. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that second part. On the first part, I mean, you guys know we love AJ here. We love AJ, but he needs to be better on the field. There's zero doubt about it. Emmett, thanks to the Super Chat, man. Can't blame Barry when 52 bit on that read option TD. Yeah, but this is the design of the play, and I get that we should be looking for it. I literally called it out on Watch Party that they've been setting that play up literally all day. But, you know, Gary is coming off an injury and had played very limited snaps last week, barely played, if at all, any real meaningful snaps throughout the summer. He's still getting his legs under him. It's hard to kill Gary for that. I think there were other plays where Gary kind of bit inside that ruptured things like on the edge for Robinson that were more egregious than that. And that's the other thing. Ritter, for all whatever you want to say about his inability to throw the ball, I mean, he can fucking run. He's an athlete. Like, sometimes you got to tip your cap. Like, he makes a really good play there. Steven, thanks for the Super Chat, man. As Packers fans, we're so fortunate to have an amazing channel to talk/vent with. Always love everything you and everyone at Cheesehead TV do. Now let's kick the shit out of the Saints. Go Pack, go. Thank you, Steven. I greatly appreciate that, man. Braden, thanks for the Super Chat. Reed and Heath Bar stepped up today. Once we get all the pieces back on offense, that's going to be fun. We haven't seen the entire show yet. You are absolutely spot on correct about that. It's just frustrating, you know? Like, yes, you know, steep odds today. No doubt about it. Bit of a house money game. Love that Matt came out with a flea flicker on the very first play of the game. But yeah, it's just frustrating because, you know, it was right there. It was right there in front of you. Just couldn't seal the deal. That's a frustration. Games you should win that you don't gnaw at you for a long time. Lee, thanks to the Super Chat, man. In my opinion, I think we found our QB. Could not agree more. We'll see. Couple more weeks, I'd say about 3-4 more games. I'd bet the Packers probably approach Jordan Love about an extension. But there's a ways to go. He's got to figure out a way to start faster. I mean, look, today he's got a rating of 113.5, right? 3 touchdowns. All great. You're really excited about it. But the fact that he's 14 of 25 and so many throws were basically wasted downs where he threw it way before his wide receivers even looking for the ball out of its break, whatever, whether it was Musgrave, whether it was some of the wide receivers. Way too many wasted downs early in this game. You got to settle down and you got to hit those. You got to, and I understand he's probably been told, get the ball out of your hand, get out quick. This is, you know, it's fast track. This team comes after it. And we saw some instances of that. So I do not doubt for a moment he's like trying to like speed up the clock a little bit, but man, you cannot waste as many throws as he did today. And, you know, again, young player, still developing, still learning. These things will come. These are the frustrations that I talked about all summer. But yeah, that's something he's got to learn from. Walter, thanks to Super Chat. I'm as optimistic after this loss as I was after last week's win. I like that attitude, Walter. I feel you, man. Again, it's the frustration of having a game there that, you know, was very winnable that you let slip away. But there's a lot to like. As frustrating as this game was, you are correct. There was a lot to like in what we saw today. Porkmaster, thanks again, man. I think I got all my frustrations out. Thank you. You're welcome, Porkmaster. I'm here for you, buddy. Charlie, thanks for the Super Chat. You think the Packers wake up after this one? I mean, sure. What do you mean, wake up? Like, kill people by 30 points every week? It's the NFL, man. They get paid too. The Packers went on the road, like I said, to start the season 2 weeks in a row, and they have never, ever, in their 100-plus year history, won both those games. Ever. And they almost did that today. You know? Take a deep breath. I think they've been awake. They've just been a little inconsistent. And they've been a little dinged up. Let's get Christian Watson back in the fold. Let's get Aaron Jones out there, you know, before we start talking about waking up. They're battling. Got a ways to go yet. A lot of ball game left. But, yeah, I think they got off the bus and we're ready to fight. No doubt about that. All right, everybody. I got to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday. on Packers Daily and after each game, which I do right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. I got a couple super chats here under the wire. Steven, thanks to the super chat. In a weird way, it was nice to see Matt LaFleur as pissed as we all are at his presser. Yeah, I mean, we've seen him mad before. Does it translate into any meaningful change? Or is it just post-game frustration / reaction? TBD. Brian, thanks to the super chat, man. A lot of ball game left. Go Pack Go. Thank you, Brian. That's a perfect place to leave it. Couldn't agree more. Go Pack Go. A lot of ball game left. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow for Packers Daily. In the meantime, please hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.